and elders of this town. And I want to recognize Professor Bakhrani, who is here, highly respected gentleman who possesses the intangible heritage of this region. Also, I want to recognize the honorary consuls who are here from Belgium, from Mozambique, and from Canada. And I want to recognize a very dear friend, Hon.Balala. Thank you very much, Hon.Balala. Highly respected, generous gentleman in charities, particularly the eyes, and another field. Hon.Balala, and definitely, most of you are my friends, and we know each other. But also, the most important person today is Zubeir Bakhrani, who today we have come here to recognize the efforts and the talent he has in painting, in the arts. And I'm proud to say that for Jesus and Jimmy, I want to thank you and congratulate you that you're very active. And for Jesus Museum has not only been a museum where you see the artifacts that are old and maybe we get bored about, but it's become a very vibrant institution. I remember when I was still a young man, and I'm still a young man, 1994, when Fort Jesus was built in 1593. In 1993-94, we organized the 400th year celebration of Fort Jesus. That's the time we turned around Fort Jesus from being a museum to a space of dialogue, a space of sharing, a space of entertainment. And that's why, since then, and I'm proud to be associated with the Fort Jesus Museum, that it has worked very well. Eventually, I happened to have been the minister in charge of this heritage, the Minister for Heritage, from a small little department in charge only of museums and archives, to now a very powerful ministry in charge of heritage and culture, which is very important for this country. And I'm proud also to say that during my tenure in office, we managed to do the cabro work you see in the old town. We have now made the old town a much upgraded, respected, and also attractive place to visit. I'm proud that infrastructural improvement is making a difference. Also, I'm proud that to have established a center, we call it Research Institute of Swahili Studies. That also was done during my tenure. I'm glad these two institutions and the improvement in the old town will make a difference into our lives every day. The only sad thing, very sad, is that we are sitting on a heritage of over 1,000 years old. But culture and the art is dead. We don't have much of these events. We need to encourage. That's why when Zubeir came to request me to do this function in a hotel, I directed him it will have more meaning to be done here at the museum. And I'm glad also Jimmy, the curator, the chief curator, is going to partner with other institutions like the Alliance Française, and also you should partner with the Little Theatre. I've just invested from my ministry money to refurbish the Little Theatre in Zanjoni, in Baraki. So we can also encourage the performing arts, plays and music, so that we can encourage our people. That's why I say, when these institutions start working, I believe there'll be a light created from this heritage we are sitting on. At the moment, nothing is happening. And here, we are living in a very important heritage worldwide. And now we have applied as a government to make Fort Jesus Museum and the Old Town to be listed in the World Heritage List. So the World Heritage List, I believe this year, 2010, Mombasa will be gazetted as a World Heritage Site. Dr. Obungu and his colleagues in the museum did that in Lamu. Dr. Liki did that in Aberdare Forest and also in the Kobipora in Turkana. And we are now trying very hard to see that the old town and the producers becomes a world center. This is very important. Not only to be able to attract more tourists, which I will encourage as a minister in charge, but also it will recognize the culture, the meltdown of a fusion of different diverse cultures. The Indian culture, the Arabic culture, the African culture, the Chinese, the Portuguese, and many others that have produced the Swahili nation. That is important for us to be proud of. Unfortunately, we people who really are the Mombasians are becoming bystanders. Mombasa is turning to any ordinary city in Africa. Chaotic, dirty, nothing is working, traffic for hours, and we are not pulling ourselves together and saying, no, we need to make a difference and change what is not good in this country. And not good for this important World Heritage city. Today Mombasa has been the entry point for any single civilization in the East African countries. Why can't we become the model for them? Why don't we be having more educated people from this area? Why don't we have more infrastructural improvement in this area? If most of you have been recently in Nairobi and in our country, the amount of infrastructure being developed there is millions of dollars are being invested. Why not here when it all started? A month ago, I summoned the permanent secretary in charge of roads, permanent secretary in charge of water, permanent secretary in charge of the port transport, to tell me and to tell the tourism industry what are the plans in the next 24 months of government for this region. And we were told of the plans, although they are good but not good enough to warrant the value of this big city. But I want to tell you, nobody is going to defend it apart from us, the Mombasa people. Nobody. Not the migrants from our country. We have coexisted and I want to encourage that. But let's have the citizenship of Mombasa. If I've come here to make money in this town, let me from my heart and soul invest here and make this area a better place for me to make money and for others who cannot to be a better place to live. And these are the issues we need to encourage. I know I've gone off track of the arts and the exhibitions today, but I think we will see much more of what Zubeir has done. Romance by the brush, or the romance in the wilderness by the brush. I think that should be a very interesting paintings, and I'm told very interesting paintings will be shown to us today. And this is the center we should encourage young talents to come and practice here. And I've told Jimmy, not only in just exhibiting artists in the arts, but let's create the producers inside to be a center where we can dialogue about tolerance and coexistence. Finally, as a government minister, as your leader, as your servant, I cannot just finish my remarks without talking about the current affairs. We are talking about tolerance. We are talking now about reforming the country. As much as we want to move forward, out of fear of the unknown, we want to move backward. We have experienced what happened in 2008 of the clashes, which is so sad. It destroyed the good image of Kenya in Africa. Today we are reforming the constitution of Kenya. We have become more intolerant of other religions and communities than ever before. And I'm talking particularly on the issue of the Kurdish court. I'm not defending the Kurdish court because I am a Muslim. I'm defending a